Which Honda snowblower do you need? This is one of the most common questions we're asked every single year before you make a decision. It's a good idea which one you could use, what kind of applications they're good for. Um, I'm not going to talk about price ranges or anything like that, or the difference between the HS and the HSS models. So let's start with the smallest one first. This is a single stage 621. The reason they call it a single stage is because the belt just runs the paddles. It doesn't have an impeller blower in it. It collects the snow through the paddle up through the chute. So that's why they call it a single stage. These are great machines. I really think everybody should own one. I use mine about 80% of the time. It's great for snowfalls for 10 inches or less. I've used it on a foot with no problem if it's dry and powder like. But these can do my driveway in about 5 or 10 minutes. I don't have a very large driveway. Let's see if I can show you the size of it. It's not that big at all. Just maybe 4 cars width, and slightly longer than this truck over here. But I can do my driveway in about 10 minutes. It's really good for dry snow to medium type snow. It's not very good on the wet stuff, the slushy stuff. It'll still work, but not as well. And it's not good for anything that's packed down heavy snow like your berm, the stuff that the plow leaves you at the end of the driveway. They're also great for walkways and decks and sidewalks, smaller areas. A lot of snow removal companies have these machines for quick work on sidewalks and decks and stuff. So this is a great machine. They're pretty reasonably priced, um, used. This is a 621. There's also the 520, the 521, and the 720. All great machines. All right, here's another machine. This is a HS50, which is really like a 521. It's got a 5 horsepower, 21-inch wide bucket. This is a double stage, two stage. You got your augers that collect the snow, and inside you've got your impeller blower. So that's why they call it a two stage. That impeller blows it out of your chute. Now, these are the 50 and the 55 are great machines for the same reason this machine is. I give the nod to this machine because it's two stage. It can do heavier snow. It can do harder packed snow, especially with the tracks. It's a great little machine. Uh, Honda built this back when quality really mattered, and so this was the kind of machine that you would use for small areas, decks and walkways, clean up, detail. The 50, the 55. It's in the smaller category, okay? So it's got its place in the lineup. Let's move on to the medium machines, the double duty machines. Here's an old HS80, which is really an 824. It's got the 24-inch bucket, 8 horsepower engine. And this is a medium type machine. This is what I use most of the time. If my 621, the little 621 can't handle the heavy snow or the berm, I bring out the old 80, and it satisfies most of my needs. I call it a double duty machine. Here's a 724, which is it's a hydrostatic transmission. I call the 724 almost the perfect Honda because it's a double duty machine. It can do everything. The 7 horsepower is strong enough to do driveways and berms. It's a two stage also. The rest of the machines are all two stage. It can handle everything. It can handle the small areas because you've got the 24-inch bucket. So it's great for walkways. It's great for decks. and it's a medium. I call it a medium double duty machine. So it has its place. A lot of people in our area, Lake Tahoe, Truckee, California area, we get a lot of snow up here. And a lot of people have the bigger machines, like this is like an 828, 928, and this last one is an 1132. A lot of homeowners have one of these two machines. Snow removal businesses use these machines, but they also have the 724 for cleanup duty, for decks and walkways. People will put them up on their decks. If they have a second story home, they'll put them up on the deck there, and they it's a great double duty machine. I love these 724s. So if you have a medium sized driveway like I do, or you have a bigger machine but you want something in the medium range, uh, get a 724 or a 624 or an old 80. I prefer you get a hydrostatic model because most all the parts are still available. Okay, so 724, 624, great medium machines. Snow removal business they have the small machines like the 6221 or 720. Or they usually don't use these older machines like the 50 or 55. But like if you have a snow removal business, you'd have something of everything. You'd want a small one for fast work with small snowfalls of say 10 inches or less of powder, dry powder. And then you have your medium machines for your decks and walkways and stuff like that. And then you move up to the bigger machines. Here's an 828. The 828 and the 928 are exactly the same size. It's a 28-inch wide bucket. The only difference is the horsepower. There's one less horsepower. I've worked on hundreds of these machines. You can't really tell the difference between an 828 and 928. The 828 is a earlier production model. It's older than the 928s. But most homeowners up here have one of these. As the 928 is considered the gold standard of Hondas up here. It weighs about 240 pounds. Let's get back to the weight. This is 240. The 928's around 240. The 724 is about 170. So almost anyone can use this without a problem. 140 pounds or 50 pounds. This is about the same. This little guy here is less than 100 pounds. I think it's like 97 pounds. I'm not sure what the 50 is, but it's fairly light. It just makes them more easier to use, more maneuverable. Okay, but this is one of the big boys. This 828, the 928. It can really handle the big jobs. A lot of snow removal companies have these machines. With the tracks, it can handle just about anything. The berms, heavy packed snow, very deep snow. As you can see, I put drift cutters on this machine. So it can cut down snow that's higher than the bucket, which happens once in a while around here, okay? All right, let's move on. When I'm talking about these machines like the HS724, I'm also talking about the HSS724 or the HSS928 or the HSS1332. I'm not talking about comparing this 1132 with the 32-inch HSS model, which is a 13 horsepower, so it's 1332. I'm not comparing HSS to HS. I'm just talking about sizes here and what your needs may be. Excuse me. This machine here is the biggest, not the biggest. Actually, the 1336 is the biggest Honda. But the 1132 and the 1332 is in the same class. It's got a 32-inch bucket. It's two-stage. This one has an 11 horsepower engine. The 13 has the 13 horsepower engine. This is for the big jobs. A lot of people up here have very large properties, very long driveways. Uh, they may have a business. They may have a parking lot that they have to clean up at their business or snow removal company. You want to get a lot of area done very quickly. You can do less passes with a 32 incher compared to the 28 or the 24. You can see the 24 is a lot smaller than the 928s and the 1132s. So you're going to do less passes. This machine weighs about 30 pounds more than the 828 and 928. So, people always ask which machine they need. Well, it depends on several factors. It depends on the area you have to clean, whether it's for decks and walkways and sidewalks, cleanup duty if you have a plow service, the size of your driveway. Mine is fairly small, so I really don't need anything bigger than a 624 or 724 or an old 80. You get the larger machines, like across the street, he's got a 928. Most people have a 928, and then they keep a smaller one for the smaller duties. And then if you've got the very large area, parking lots, snow removal, large driveways and areas to clean, then you would probably want the 1132s or the 1332s. So I hope that answers your question. For all you people that have Hondas, uh, please comment on which size Honda and why you have that size. It would help a lot of people here on the YouTube channel and our Facebook groups dedicated to the Honda Snowblower, because this is one of the most asked questions there is every single fall and winter. People are shopping for new or used machines and they want to know which size to get. So thanks for watching. If you think this video helped you, please like and subscribe as always. I'll see you next time.